Hello friends, welcome back to another video, and welcome if you're new. My name is Jenny and I wanted to share with you our trip to Hawaii, which happened in March 2024. And this part of the video will be the west side of the big island of Hawaii and the north area that we explored. So one of the most amazing things about Hawaii is its landscape and the different ecosystems that are on this island. And this is the kind of dry side of the island. And so you'll find these more these areas that are cultivated and lush with trees, but it's also a very dry, arid desert area with lots of volcanoes. So it was quite something to just be in the atmosphere when we arrived. Here we are at our vacation rental having our first snack of poke. So there was a lot of poke consumed on this trip. And we were staying at the Waikoloa Inn Village. It's like a resort area. And I would say it's mostly like a golf type of place, but we found a really great accommodation, and I'll show you later on the accommodation we had. This is a beach that is very close by within walking distance. I think it took us about 20 minutes to walk here. And it's a private beach, but there's public access to it. So the beach is attached to one of the resorts, and I can't remember which one. So our first day there, we just wanted to get out and get into the sand, get into the water, and it was really lovely. And we also decided to go and visit a macadamia nut farm / place where the macadamia nuts are processed, and get some yummy treats. We had some macadamia nut ice cream. We bought a few packages of macadamia nuts to enjoy. And then later on that day, we went to the Waikoloa Petroglyph Walk, which is also part of the resort. So you can see there's golf course on either side of this area. This whole area was actually a very ancient passageway that Indigenous Hawaiians took, and they would use the rocks to build up shelter type areas where they could shelter from weather when they were traveling. And all of the different petroglyphs meant different things regarding different ways of communicating with various messages to each other. So it was a really interesting thing to walk through, and to think about these images and carved into the rock that have survived for hundreds of years. And one of the things we didn't know about Hawaii when we arrived was that there's tons of wild goats everywhere. So that was a really fun thing to find. Mountain Thunder Coffee is located in a cloud forest, and so we drove up there the following day in the Kailua Kona area. And so we went down to Kailua Kona this time. Waikoloa is a little bit further north, and this is all of the vegetation. This is a lava tunnel that is part of the walk that you can do on the coffee farm, and they have samples and they show you the processing that they do there. And this is the beautiful view from up at the top of the volcano. So this is one of the volcanoes on the Big Island. I believe there are 7 total volcanoes. Don't quote me. I'm not a historical person here. I'm just sharing what I remember or happen to remember from the trip. But it was lovely. I really enjoyed going up to Mountain Thunder. And there's this really nice atmosphere in Kona, the town itself. And that's where we stopped for our second meal of poke. And this is the beach where we ended up snorkeling on the following day, and we just stopped there on the way down and on our way to Pauhona o Honaunau. And I probably did not say that right, but it is a royal grounds, and it was a place of refuge for ancient Hawaiians. And this was like a sacred space with these beautiful carvings and buildings, and it is now a National Historic Site that you can go to. You pay a very small fee to enter and to park, and then you get to go. There's a lovely film that you can watch that tells you about the history of the place with reenactments, and then you get to walk around and see all the beautiful black lava rock with the water, and see the ancient Hawaiian structures and carvings. And it's really quite a stunning place to go and visit. By the way, I will have all of the places that we visited linked down in the description box so that you can check them out if you would like to learn more about them. And so this is our snorkeling day, and I don't remember the beach, but again, I will put that down below for you. It's a very popular snorkeling spot, and it's a place where they actively are trying to regrow the coral. And so there are very specific rules about how to snorkel here, where you are not touching the coral and you're keeping yourself floating as much as possible when you're looking at the fish. This was actually my first time snorkeling. I did it because when my sons came out of the water, they were like, "Mom, you must try this." And it just never appealed to me to try it, but I did. And it was very cool. There I am to see the fish under the water in their natural habitat. And we even got a GoPro for this trip, which was very fun because we had never had one before. And got to record some beautiful fish. Obviously the yellow ones were my favorites. I think there's going to be one coming up right here, a really pretty yellow one. And you know, it's a really great experience. I did find it quite challenging to like think about all the things like breathing, not touching the coral, and not letting the current drag me anywhere I didn't want to go. But as you can see, I was still very close to the shore, and in the end really enjoyed the experience of trying it and being in the water that day. And I'm so glad that I got to experience that with my family. And there's a rental place very close to this beach where you can rent snorkel gear. We did not bring snorkel gear with us. Once we were done snorkeling for the day, we went to this lovely little open market. Again, names for everything will be down below, and had some really nice Mexican food, I believe. We had lots of different food on this trip. The food overall was quite lovely. And after that, we drove up into the mountain onto a volcano again and went to a chocolate farm. Unfortunately, on the day we went, we weren't able to do a full tour of the chocolate farm, but they did play us a lovely video and we purchased some yummy chocolate. They also gave us samples of chocolate, and this was a really great quality. So I would recommend checking them out if you are down in that area. We really enjoyed it. Hawaii is stunningly beautiful. There's no doubt about that. If you look at this amazing sunset, we walked down from our resort to another beach area, and or in the resort. We were still in the resort when we saw this amazing sunset. So you can't really beat how gorgeous this is. The next morning we set out, and there was a rainbow to greet us. So this is the day where we're traveling north on the island, and so you go right up to the most northern point, and that's where we were here. We were hoping to do this hike, but the wonderful people who were there, who are locals, who are teaching people about the area, said that it had been raining there for days and days. The trail was very slippery, and they did not recommend doing it. And so we definitely listened to them. You can hike all the way down to that beach, but we did not feel that it was, a good idea to go against them, who are locals, who know the best practices. So we drove back up and visited some of the little shops and some of the little cafes along this route. And you can find lots of fruit stands and poke places and lots of fun restaurants and little souvenir shops, which we really enjoyed. And we also went to the Lapakahi Historical Park on the way back down. So you can see that we were at the very north point in the rain, and then came back down, and it was sunny and hot in this area. And this is another historical site where there used to be a village. And so you can walk around, and there's some information for you to learn about the area and the dwellings that are there. So it was really quite stunning, always quite stunning, with the beautiful water views. That evening was our last in this part of the island, I believe, and we went to the Lava Lava Beach Club for dinner, which is part of a hotel, and we had to wait a little while to get a table, but they have this lovely waiting area for you. The boys played some Jenga, we had a nice cocktail, we just sat in some nice loungy chairs and waited to have our table come up. It is, you know, very fun, very friendly.
You belong to me.
I wanted to give you some time here to see some dancing, some hula dancing. This is a live band at the Lava Lava Beach Club. And as you can see, we were basically like right on the beach, getting ready to see the sunset. The food here was really nice. The atmosphere was really relaxed. A lot of the visitors got up and danced at different points during the evening. And it was just a very chill, typical, I think, of Hawaii in a lot of ways, a very laid-back environment vibe, and just a really relaxing, so relaxing, and so visually lovely to be able to visit this great restaurant. The band actually stops during the sunset so that everybody can go over and get their pictures and watch the sunset happen. Yeah, and then they come back on after the sunset is over. So the following day, we went to the Akaka waterfall. And so this is a trail that you hike, and I'm trying to remember how long this trail took us. Maybe 20 minutes to get to the falls. It's not very long. And for us, a family who hikes fairly frequently, was not a very strenuous hike in any way. It's all paved and stairs with railings. There's no open kind of trail area, so it's pretty easy to walk for us. These trees were just so cool. You could see their roots above the ground, and then they just had these stringy vines hanging down, which were really, really fun and interesting to look at. I mean, it's always fascinating to be in a new place with different vegetation from what you're used to, and that's definitely apparent in this on this little hike. And it's very popular. There were a lot of people there, and I think that is because it's just very often frequented. I just wanted to give you a little overview of our accommodation. So we stayed in a 2-bedroom condo. We had this beautiful lanai out on the front, and then you can see over there was a pool and a hot tub. There may even have been like a steam room or a sauna, but we didn't use that. I loved the lanai. There was the lounger chairs, a table and chairs that we ate at, and then there was another set of comfortable chairs over here, and I sat out there every single morning and had my tea, and it was glorious. And then there's also these ponds which have koi in them, I believe. And then you have the middle part of the place that has the kitchen, dining, and living room. So it was a really perfect accommodation for us. So that is the end of this part of our trip, and I'll be back with the East and South Island to come.